What's up, guys? This is Nerd Bucket coming at you with another episode of But Does It Spin? And today we're opening this. But before we continue, leave us a like if you've been enjoying this series and considering subscribing to not miss any future videos of But Does It Spin? Ready? Let's go.
So here we are with everything out of the box, and of course we do have Berserk Balderov B7 and Cyclone Belfyre B7. They're both B7s, but you know, it is what it is. Let's take a look at their parts. Starting out with Cyclone Belfyre, the chip is a Belfyre, which here in quad drive doesn't mean much. It is a right spinning chip, it is a right spinning blade. The slopes are not that great because it is a quad drive. Most quad drives, they do have weaker slopes. They do burst more easily, but you know, it is what it is. This one in particular, the colors are very vague as well. You can only see the face mask, the two eyes, and the horns. Nothing else is colored, which is very sad. But you know, it is what it is. The Cyclone blade as well doesn't have any of the moving parts, but its smash attack is still here. Some counter, and more counters. And then back to the smash. So you know, it is still okay-ish. If you guys remember, our Cyclone Rocktavor was still the champion of one of our tournaments in quad drive, so I'm expecting great things from this one as well. The armor that came in it is a 3, but because they're plastic, they don't really function the same way as it would with Dynamite Battle from Takara Tomy. The weight distribution is negligent. The weight also from every armor, they're mostly similar because they are all plastic, so it doesn't help much in any way. It's just there to hold the pieces in place. Okay, this forged disc that came with it is kind of interesting. However, it is an Aquilon, which I believe is a Hasbro exclusive. At least I don't remember seeing this in Takara Tomy ever, but as you can see, it does have 4 parts to it. The weight is distributed mostly the same way as well, but because it is not very smooth underneath, it is not very round, it won't help with life after death at all. But yeah, it at least looks very cool. Mine did come with an extra metal piece, and I'm not sure what that is. It was stuck here in one of these openings. I'm not sure what that is for, but it's here. And this is the driver with the armor tip. As you can see, the driver without the tip does look kind of like a Survive. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure it will act similar way like a Survive. The armor tip on it is a Hunter, I believe, is a Hunter Q. And of course, it does have that flat plastic tip that isn't too wide, but not too thin either. So, you know, it will have a decent pattern, but you know, nothing too crazy aggressive. Moving on to Berserk Balderov. This is also a right spinning, but this is much more aggressive. As you can see, it does have a strong smash attack there and a lot of little hits and so on. It does do kind of an upper attack, but the colors is what makes this very interesting to me. I do like it quite a bit. I feel like most of the blades in quad drive were very lightly colored and so on, but this one is very, very dark, stark color, so I do like that quite a bit. The chip itself, as I said, it doesn't have very good slopes, just from the fact that it is quad drive, so they will burst more easily. But you know, that is part of the quad drive game, okay? The armor part, honestly, I don't know what this is. It does look like a 2 and a 4 fused together, kind of. I believe it is also one of the quad drive specific armors. That said, like I said, these are all plastic, so they don't do anything differently. They won't change the performance that much, if at all. The disc that came with it is a Gigas Q, so it is lighter than the normal Gigas, but it is still a Gigas, so I do like it quite a bit. It is an octagonal driver, and it is pretty heavy for a quad drive. It does have the weight more towards the outside. That said, if you flip it around, it does look a little weird because it doesn't have that smooth end here. It doesn't have that filled out metal here, so it's not as heavy as the original Gigas, but also it doesn't have the smooth end here, so it won't help much with the life after death that the original Gigas does. So this is, I don't know, in my point of view, it's a pretty bad forged disc because of what they did to it here in quad drive. The driver here has the armor tip of Wave, I believe, so you know, it will perform much the same way, except that the tip is not as prominent as with the Takeratomi wave. It is flatter, I'm guessing because they want the Beyblade of Quadrive to move around more in the arena, kind of like what they did with Speedstorm tips. With Speedstorm tips where they flatten the top a little more. But yeah, it's not too different from that. And over here we do have a Guardian, I believe, a Guardian Q. So it does have the rounder tip, so this is slightly more defensive. But yeah, nothing more to say about that. These are the parts. Let's assemble them, test them out, and of course battle them against each other. Balderov did end up winning, but he was the one that we did launch second twice. So that could have been it. Like I said before with the quad drive stuff, for those who have flat tips, they will mostly perform very similarly. Whoever we launched second did end up winning, so it is what it is. Take the conclusions you like from that. I'm not a huge fan of quad drive. I did start liking it a lot more after I bought this arena, but the Beyblades, for the most part, in my point of view at least, they do perform quite similarly, most of them, except for a few that are worse than the rest. But it is what it is. Take the conclusions you like from that. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to see more videos like this. Obviously, we are focusing more on Beyblades, but we also do bring other kinds of spin tops and sometimes even stuff that are not even spin tops, but that we try to spin them anyway just to see if we can. So if you're into stuff like that, I'll see you next time, and until then, stay nerdy, guys.